I'm getting paper. You think I should carry some toilet paper just
Hello,
to wipe me down?
hello, and welcome to Chewing the Fat on Intellectual Radio. I am so glad that you guys are with me. It is already March, guys. It is March. We are already in the third month of the year. How about that? I mean, this year is going fast. And so I want you guys to make sure that you're moving as fast as the months are moving. What are your plans? Where are your goals? What are you setting? Are you checking those things off? Are you getting yourself together? It is March. It is definitely March. You can catch us. Hey, thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Twinkle. Mwah. You can catch us also on Spreaker, and you can catch us on iTunes, and YouTube. So there's no reason why you can't catch us on Intellectual Radio. So I wanted to let you guys know that. But I also want to get into a couple of things. Okay, March is Women's Month. So I want to start off with Women's Month to celebrate the two candidates, the African American women that are running for Chicago's mayoral race. I want to congratulate those women, salute them, and shine the spotlight on them. I hope you guys choose wisely. I hope you know about your judicial system. I'm hoping that you know about your taxes. I'm hoping you know about all of those great things, because both of those women have two separate platforms. One is with police misconduct and overturn. The other one uses that other phrase, but she also is one that keeps Prep Winkle, who knows a lot about finances, accounting, and money. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Also, but I also like the heart that Lightfoot had came from when she said, and I always said, why do we keep making downtown so pretty? But once we cross a certain area on Roosevelt, like Blue Island or Racine, we start to, or Ashland now, we start to see um, the faces change. And so that's Lightfoot discussion. We don't have that same beautification on the street of Roosevelt. We don't have the flower pots. We don't have all of those different things. But yet and still, you go downtown and you put all the money in those areas and not into the communities that need to thrive, communities that need books, paintings, abandoned homes to be fixed up, possibly can help with the homeless, things of that nature. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of research to do before we pick our Chicago mayor, those of us who live in Chicago. I want us to be mindful of that as well. So I want to salute those women for Women's Month. I want to start off with that. And for entertainment, I don't know if we call this entertainment or shame, but R. Kelly, of course, one of my favorite artists. I actually knew him personally. Well, know him personally, like knew, but know him personally. We worked together back in the days, and we all grew up in that Cotton Club era. And me, him, Bernie Mac, Bob Brio, there's quite a few of us. Terrence, it was just so many of us. We were all in that, Maurice Mahan, we were all in that Cotton Club era where we were getting the Renaissance back into Chicago. I can say it was a beautiful thing. The R&B and the jazz and the soul and the blues was being sung at the Cotton Club, and R. Kelly was preying on young women probably back then. And it's such a controversial thing that for one artist in a certain era, it's it's a crime, it's disgusting, it's perverted, it's all of these different things. But Woody Allen married his stepdaughter. We had Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis, who dated. Well, Jerry Lee Lewis married his cousin. That's who he married. He married his cousin, and she was very young, maybe 15 or something. And even if you saw the movie, the guy that portrayed him, um, intelligence was not of his development, his maturity, development, and growth was not of the age that he was at. He was a little more childish, like that 15-year-old child. So one has to ask themselves, what make men prey on um, younger women, and manipulate them and gaslight them into doing some things that may not be of them, or even they may like doing it. They may like doing it for whatever reason, for the fame, for the fortune. I blame a lot of the parents for what has occurred, because if you grew up with great parents and nowhere in the world, 15 through 18 through 21 in my house would have got away with being trapped up, locked up, or portrayed in such a light that they're doing these young women, because my parents would have been down there kicking doors in, dragging me out along with other people. I just know my family. So this is just such a controversial thing. You have R. Kelly sweating, crying, undoing his tie, breaking out in sweats, looking like he's about to pass out. But guess what he's having? He's having panic attacks. It gets real, folks. He's having anxiety attacks because now the realization of him going in and doing real time, and the realization of him being marked a sexual predator, him his career is completely over. Probably he may just be able to write, which is a lot of money in that. So if he just write for people, if they would still buy his compositions, that's the way that he can fund himself. But actually, I really don't know how far his career is going to go. I mean, it's a lot of people that's on R. Kelly's team, on his squad. Women are going to get him out for $100,000. He get out of jail. He go to the Rock and Roll McDonald's. Two girls jump in the car. So he's still a Pied Piper. He's so magnetic. Where women are so magnetically drawn to him. I don't know if it's because of his serenading, his sex appeal, what the case may be, but some of these women volunteer to do these things, and we just have to be real with this. And if you guys want to call in, the number is 708-223-8953. The number is 708-223-8953. And I just want to say that we have to recognize when it's personal attacks being thrown at us. I name those other names for a reason, because they still call Elvis Presley the king. No matter how many young women he been with, no matter how many women he laid with, it's publicly known. We all saw it. We growing up watching the movies or seeing clips of him leaving. There were so many young women. He was also a magnet for women. Women would pass out and throw underwear and, be naked in his trailer waiting on him, two or three women sometimes. So all of those different things come into play, but they were young women, but I don't see them tearing down Graceland. I don't see them dismembering or removing a star from Hollywood Square for Elvis. Jerry Lee Lewis, they still talk about him. Woody is still making movies to this date. It's just ongoing in other cultures. But right now we have Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and it's one more. Who is the other one? That has a personal attack on them. The two I have for sure off the back of my head, which is Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, but it was one before Bill Cosby, and I just can't remember who it was. But we're having these personal attacks on the people that Michael Jackson. Here we are. So on the people that we called our icons, or people that we looked up to, and they are just diminishing their character and defaming their character. And sometimes it could be true, maybe it's not true. But if what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If they are going to destroy and rip apart their careers, the same should be done to them as well, because the same acts occurred, the same simulation was in play and in effect. So if that's the case, then I don't see why we're not debating and having a discussion about those icons as well. And I think that should be an open forum in the community, in the Black and white community, how we seem to still look at the color black as bad and the color white as good, no matter how we look at it. No matter how. If it's an evil spirit, or a witch is a dark witch, and your good witch is a white witch. I mean, it just have to, all of those different things. You just have to look at the different terminology. Hey, Dolores, hey, sweetheart, how are you? We have to look at terminologies and the different ways that they push things upon us. And if we don't look with a clear bird's eye view, we'll let a lot of things go over our head, and a lot of other people slip under the radar. It's time for us to be watchful. Like they have the watchdog communities who watch the What they call them? Yeah, the watchdog community. They watch the police. They police the police. Well, we need to have a watchdog community for our celebrities, for our entertainers, because there is a personal attack on them, and the diversion is going straight to them and leaving everybody else out of the limelight. If we stain them and hold on to this news article long enough, they'll forget about everything else. The Me Too campaign, the this, the that. No, we don't forget. Some of us are still awake and see what you're doing. I'm awake. And I know some of you all are awake. Absolutely. So that's one of the things I wanted to discuss in entertainment. It's gonna be a hard pill for that man to bite once he gets sentenced. Because I don't think he's getting acquitted this time. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna place R. Kelly in jail, and they're placing him in jail to pay for not just his indiscretions, but it's to prove a point and to set him on the chopping block, and put a noose on his neck and say, everybody of this caliber, you better watch yourself because this is what we'll do to you. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Um, and I just want them, if we're gonna do this, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be very, very, very fair and clear on this, because it's still right now some artists and pop artists who are dating underage women. I mean, you had Tiger that was dating one of the Kardashian girls, underage. And Chris let it be okay because Tiger had money, because that's how she bred her kids. She bred thoroughbreds to go get money. And that's what they do at all cost. At all cost. So I wanted to talk about that. Now get into our topic. Get into our topic. The phone number here is 708-223-8953. When is it time for you to let go of your adult children? When is it time to take your grips out of them and let them be who they are destined to be, to make their mistakes, to make their shortfallings, but you're still there to advise and guide them, but not to be intrusive, not to insert yourself in every aspect of your adult child's life. If they're having an argument with their spouse, or a serious disagreement, why are you in their business? Number one, they're married. That's the first thing you have to understand. They're married. So forsaking all others is in play. That trumps everything. Whether I'm mama, I'm the child, I'm whoever. We have joined our souls together, and we have come together, forsaking all others. And I keep saying forsaking all others because some mothers don't know their place. They're constantly in their children's business. Some fathers don't know their place. They're constantly in it. And these are adults. I'm not talking about as you're raising these children, because we are to insert ourselves, because we are role models, and they follow model behavior. But this is after we've done our job. We have to learn to step back and allow them to make some mistakes. We cannot insert ourselves into people relationships and then begin to tell them about how my relationships went and this is how yours should work. No, I'm giving you an example. There are millions of examples I can give through testimony of married couples, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for you to meet you where you are at your level. So parents need to know how to say that. What is it that you need? What are you trying to discuss with me? You just don't go in and start basing your opinions. How long do we allow them to stay home? How long do we become a crutch to them before we have to say, it's time? It's time. Make your house. It's time. At a certain age, a man and a woman should be able to make their house. And that's what you are supposed to do. You don't supposed to go back when you get angry and go back to your parents' house and close the door and think you can go back to your old bedroom and everything is okay. You guys don't go together anymore. You have to work it out. And for that parent, you talk to your child, you calm them down, and you send them back home to work the thing out with their spouse or with their child. Another thing, how we insert ourselves in our adult children's lives is how they're raising their children. If you don't see abuse taking place, whether it's emotionally, physically, um, uh, um, can't think of the other one, any type of neglect. If you see any of that, I'm not speaking about that. That is a automatic flag. You already know. Insert yourself. Do what you have to do. If you have to come yank him somewhere and place him somewhere, you'll get him away from your child or her away from your child. If you know harm is about to happen. But I'm talking about the ones that need to be independent. Independent, because what we've done is we have so many codependent adults, young adults now, that they need somebody. They need to have you speaking for them. They need for you to stand up for them. But you have to teach them or tell them, I taught you which way to go. Now it's up to you to apply these things. We have to learn how to let go and move on. We can't control who our sons see or our daughters see, but what we can do is be a model example. Teaching our children about finances is a whole nother thing. When you inserting yourself in your children's lives, when it's coming to them and their own demise of how they're balancing their books, it looks like they on their way back home with you, and that's the last thing that you want. It's for that child to come back home with you. That you have to teach them how to survive, how to make the little into a lot, how to budget, how to make sure that their bills are being paid. If they have to make payments on them, or is this a full amount? Would it be better? Is there any interest or anything on that particular bill? You have to teach them how to become independent young adults so they don't end back up in your home. That is our point. You want them independent enough that they're able to make it on their own. When is it time for us to step out? As soon as you know that you have done the best that you can do at raising them, you step back and you allow them to make their own mistakes, create their own avenue, their own destiny, their own identity. Because for so long, they were sculpted and molded by who? The parent and the environment and everything else that shaped them around them. But when they're on their own, they're able to find their own identity and shape themselves and make themselves more productive for not just them, but for their work environment, for their relationship, for the community. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. So we need to know how to value our children. Um, what am I trying to say? Value their ways, value the walks that they want to walk, allow them to be able to run into that wall and say, well, I tried it and I found out that the wall don't move. So let me go to the next exercise. That's what we want to do with our children. We don't want to step in and start screaming, no, no, don't run into the wall. Oh, oh, oh. We raised them. Now it's time for us to step back and allow them to be investigators, to observe, to take notes, to do all the things that it takes to gain wisdom so that they can reach back to their children and give it to them. But if we are hand feeding and hand forcing them everything that they need, what lesson would they have learned? What lesson would they have learned? We have to always think about when we're with our children, every moment is a teachable moment. Even when I'm with my adult children, we have the most in-depth conversations. It's not for play. We're talking about life. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about your next 10-year plan. We're talking about your 5-year plan. We are talking and discussing things. So I want to know where you are with this. When do we tap out? Our number is 708 223-8953 if you want to call in and give us examples on when is it time to tap out of your children's relationship. When is it time? When is it time? There's a great example that I like to give about a young man who didn't know exactly who he was supposed to be, what destiny he was supposed to go in. He was about 33 years old, still at home with his mother, had two children, um, but still didn't know how to provide for them because the mother was still taking care of his children as though that they were hers. So he's at home with mom. Mom is a single parent. He has two more children. So mom is now picking up the grandchildren and him. But he's 33 years old. When will he get up, find himself a job, apply himself so that he can take care of his own family? When will he do it? Never. Because mom is in the way. Mom is always there to make sure she fixed the boo-boos. She's making sure that the food is there. She's playing the role of the wife now, almost instead of the mother. Because right now, you should actually either be married or looking for a wife or in a serious relationship or just some form of a relationship that all of your time is just not going to mother. And all of your demands is not just asking, things of your mother to do or say. Hey, Tori, how are you, darling? Yes, and I know you know about letting go of the grown kids because we talk about it all the time. How we tend to allow them to be who they are. Your daughter left straight out of two daughters. One left, what was it, the Navy? She comes home to visit, but straight out of school. She's been gone now for at least 8 years or more. Hey there, Pedro. How you doing? At least 8 years or more. And your other daughter graduated. She went right behind her, did the same thing. So, and your boys, independent, even the one, your son that's not, doing so well, you allow him to be independent and to live alone and to make his own mistakes and make his own decisions. Because guess what? Mom has raised your child and did the best that she can do. So now she stepped back and watched them become the little grown-ups that they supposed to be. The ones that they start hollering that they couldn't wait to be. Thank you, Tori. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in and continue to tune in and tell people and share the post. Let them know that I'm on and let them here. But we need to know how and when to step in. We don't step in just as soon as, okay, it's like a child walking and they're just beginning to walk, but they're a little nervous. But they see you right here with your hands or yourself right in front of them. So they constantly will do that little rock like they're trying to reach for you. But instead of you reaching for them, you're scooting back even farther. Why are you doing that? To allow that child to gain some independence so they can learn how to walk. That's the same thing we have to do to our adults. Take them off the breast. Stop breastfeeding them. Mothers, fathers, stop keeping them your little lap babies. Let them go. These young adults need to learn how to be young adults because if they don't know what career path they want to be in already and they are 30, I can only imagine when they'll start getting their retirement fund together, when they'll start thinking about, long term um, goals that they have to do as they age. When will they start doing that? Because if you're starting at 30, I guess you can't even think about anything like that till you're close to 70. If you're going by the government age to retire, which it probably won't be here much longer. So um, we have to find some other resource for our savings. And are you doing that? Are you teaching your kids that? Those are the things we got to learn when to let go and when to step in. Stepping in, we're a resource. When we step in, just be a resource, not part of the problem, not encouraging confusion, but trying to de-escalate it. That's what we're trying to do. A lot of people get on parents because of their kids are young and they want to know, oh, where your parents at, where your parents at. I look at these older people who are still at home and I'm like, where's your parents? What did they do to you? Where's your independence? Why are you still here? Why are you waiting on your grandmother to die so you can get the house? Why? Or yeah, Big Money died so you can get the house because Big my favorite. Or you waiting on your mother because you can get the house and the car now. Stop depending on other people's wealth for your success. Teach your kids that. Stop waiting on other people's wealth for your success. It's theirs. What they did to get their success may not work for you. The way they obtain it, you may not want to pay the cost that it took to get to where they are. So be careful what we're teaching our children because we can teach them the latter or the greater. The latter can be greater. Our latter is to be greater. We have to speak that our latter is greater. Have to. If we don't, then we stay in the same position that we're in. We don't move any further. Thanks for sharing. That's right. Until we let go, Tori, you're exactly right. Until we let go, they won't move on. That's the absolute truth. That is the best statement yet on here. Until we let go, that's when they'll move on. I remember at one point, my son got mad at me, and we went through the "will you get out?" blah blah blah. So when he got out, he was able to pay his bills. He was able to do everything that he wasn't doing in my house. How about that? Everything that he wasn't doing at home. But he was already a man. But sometimes you got to push them or force them out in order for them to be that. We have to do it. We may not like it. It may not be comfortable for either one of the parties. But letting go is something that parents have to prep for. It's not something that you can just up and do. Because guess what? That's your child. They've been with you for however long their age is as that adult. And they've been with you that long. And all of a sudden, someone's telling you to let go, that they have to make their own house, their own decisions, their own mistakes, their great successes, and they're going to do all these things without you. And you were the one who normally showed them how to do it, right? Guess what, parent? You did your job because you showed them, you modeled what to do. When a person, let me step in. When a person is paying their own way, they take better care of the things that they work for, period. Absolutely. When a person is paying their own way, you don't have to holler, cut my lights off. You're running my bill up because guess what? They paying that light bill. They learn how to cut the gas down and the light down. Lights off. Oh, remember all that free running through the house and eating and eating and eating because they wasn't buying it and didn't know what the actual cost of all those goodies were. And then they have to try to buy them. And sometimes they can't even get half the stuff that they had in that house. But they value in that. They not running through it. They not leaving half water bottles open and half sodas open and juices. The bag of chip bag is not wide open. No, they're going to roll it up, keep it fresh, put the clip on it. They're going to do all that stuff. Because guess what? Now they're spending their money. Everything you told them about keeping the house clean and doing all these different things, and this is a reflection of you. They got to learn it. They have to. It's about stepping back. You can walk in their house and even criticize it if you like. You can say, I ain't sitting down in here in the nasty house. You can say whatever you want to. Because guess what? You can go home to your house Your place. But I tell you, it's nothing more rewarding than to see your children turn into productive individuals in society, doing what they love to do, working in whatever field they're working in, making their monies, having a nice, um, intimate relationship, a healthy relationship, um, looking at your grandkids through their eyes and looking at them as though they were your babies at that same age. All of these different things that we do, that we do, it still is a reflection of how they will become as adults, because you're going to have that same pride when they do something in life, as get a promotion at their job, or they're graduating with their master's or doctorate or bachelor's, wherever they start at. So we, the excitement don't go there. Our parenting skills don't go anywhere. Our love for our children, it does not go anywhere. It does not falter, it does not diminish. It actually gets greater, and the appreciation is valued more, because now you're watching your son or daughter work in this certain field that they always wanted to work in. We hold on to things because sometimes we're afraid of being alone. Parents, we're afraid of being alone. Tell the truth. Some of us are afraid of just being alone. The empty nest syndrome. That's what happens. We run around with the empty nest in our chest, and we pretend as though we don't know the empty nest is we should have been preparing for this empty nest a long time before it came, a year in advance or so. Because as it gradually happens, then you're not so shocked when the child wants to move out, when they want to shack with another person. Like, I sound like my mother shack, move in with another person, So we have to learn to let go for personal reasons too. We hold on to them because, maybe the marriage didn't work out. Maybe you're afraid of overspending, overeating, um, the environment you're in, whatever it is, you don't want to let go because you don't want to relinquish the power of being the parent. You think that it goes away, but you are still your child's superhero. My daughter is 31. I'm still her superhero. Her daddy's still her Superman. I'm Wonder Woman, he's Superman. That's how we roll, because we were always there for our children, and being there for them and being in their business is two different things. Being there is when you are ear, an advisor, an oracle, a nurturer, praying for them. I should have said spiritual intercessor. All of those, that's where that come in at. The other one, we already know what category it falls in. You know, letting go to these examples, it's hard. It's hard because you may have got used to looking at the grandkids in the house. You may have gotten used to um certain sounds and smells, or the older child cooking for you, and now you don't have to cook for yourself. But an important goal for us is to hear our children tell us, I don't need you anymore. That's independence. When our kids want to do stuff, remember when they were young and they was like, I got it, I can do it by myself. I want to climb up the ladder, I want to get on the swing. I got it, I got it. That's what we want to hear from our adult kids. They got it. They have it. It becomes a goal in every parent that after that, day after day after day. Hey, April, I miss you so much. I mean, we have to learn that being there for our kids does not mean that we are supposed to tell them which job is better for them, what if they should get married or not, how long how long they supposed to hold they IRA in. We can advise our kids, but we can't run their money. We can't tell them why you spending money on this particular person. You know why? Because it's their money. It's not yours. It wasn't yours to begin with. And we just have to understand our kids are gaining so much independence that if we step back and allow them in this fast paced world to do what it is that they need to do at an early age, by the time they're young adults in their late 20s and 30s, they will be already career bound because we would have done what we needed to do when they were younger. We keep forgetting that we have to let go. I mean, and I told you it's a process. You may have the thoughts, you may have the smells, you may have a lot of things. So I just want you guys to always remember that parents recognize that the order that they have can be the order in your life that they have can be effective or destroying. We can either destroy you as a parent or we can build you up. It's all about our parenting skills and our style. If we done the right one of building our kids up, step back, allow them to be grown. Hey, Ed. And even if we didn't fully equip our kids, we have to let them go. We can advise them, we can tell them about a few things, but we really do have to let them go. Stop buying cars for them, and then they have an accident, you mad. But you decided to buy this grown up a car and you already knew, he didn't have any license or he did this. You are handicapping your children. Stop allowing them to sweet talk you. Stop. Allow them to build on their own. It's okay if your child is starting with a business and you say, I'm going to give you the first 3,000, 4,000 on your business, to start up. This is not a loan. This is a gift. It's yours. You walk away, but you don't keep coming back saying, but I gave you some money to start this business. This some part of this, I got sharing this. No, 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 no. If you are giving your child a gift, step back and let go. Don't hold this over your child head like a carrot dangling in front of a rabbit at a race. We have learned to manipulate over these years, manipulate our children into doing some of the most craziest things. Craziest things, from solicitation to murder to selling drugs and hustling. We have enticed our children with all kind of negative things. But what happens if we all shifted our energy into building our children into a brighter future, teaching them how to be their own entrepreneur, teaching them how to work in corporate America and climb the ladder just as fast as anyone else in there, or become partner on the job. Allow them to make whatever decision they need to make that's life altering, life changing. Allow them to make that, because you know why? Then the regret and the pressure don't come down on you. With the you told me, but you told me, you said it was okay. Mm-mm. Allow them to make their decisions. I remember my mom was walking through one of the community banks 20 plus years ago, and my brother went to the bank with her, and so did I. It was a beautiful girl behind the counter, and he kept trying to shoot his shot, and he kept telling Mama, come on, come on, come on, Mama, walk over here with me. Let us see. Let her know I take care of my mom. My mother said, we don't have to put on the show. If you take care of me, she'll automatically see that. So those are teachable moments. I never forgot that. I never forgot. So it teaches me how to treat a man. And then it also teaches me how I would like a man to treat me. So we take those moments and we learn from it. Hey, Sherelle. You say you can't let go. Yeah, it's hard to let go. These are our babies. I mean, Sherelle, these are our babies. And I know you don't want to let go. But when they get a certain age, we have to. We have to take our hands off. If we got to sit on our hands, tie them up. Now, I'm not saying not to call your baby and check on them. I mean, I talk to my girls and my son every day, and sometimes for an hour to one of them or so, because we have a really close relationship. But I just couldn't imagine not being able to communicate with my child freely, or my child being able to freely communicate with me. Respectfully. Respectfully. I don't judge them because I've been young. I made mistakes. I'm older and I still make mistakes. So don't get it wrong. Because you get older don't mean that you're exempt from mistakes. You may make more mistakes as an adult as you did younger. Because I think I did. I think I made more mistakes in my adult life than I did as a child. And a lot of it was because of my defiance and disobedience. And I did it just intentionally. Intentionally. April Shannon is saying, everyone has to learn to walk on their own path. You may fall, you may trip, you may stumble, but when you get up to walk again, you'll remember the place where you stumbled. And you are either, let's see, let's get more. Here we go. You'll either not take that path again or learn to get over it or move around it. That's right. It's like that mountain, April. It's like that mountain. We know we can't probably climb the entire mountain. We know we can't push the mountain, right? But we can go around that mountain. We may find a little cave hole that maybe make us go through that mountain. A couple of back waterfalls and a few caves, we may go through. But the main thing is that we are taking our own path. And in that path, as you said, it's going to be some hurdles, some thorns. It is going to prick you. And if it prick you, don't panic. Address the little prick. If it's not hurting, if it's not bleeding, move on. That's how life is. We hold on to all of the things that happen in our life and we place it on other people. We try to live our high school years sometimes, some parents, through their children. We get too comfortable. We get too comfortable because maybe for some reason we weren't able to be a child. We had to be an adult too fast. And then when we have children, we digress and we become our children's friends. April saying, whatever it is, you still gotta learn and learn your own lesson. That's right. I don't care how many times a parent now, and this is the truth, you can tell your child, don't see this person. I mean, don't see him. If you see him, you're going to be in this house for this, and I'm going to tear you up, and I'm going to take this from you, and blah, 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 blah. All that the parent says. And just as soon as you leave, we will be picking up the phone. They'll be picking up the phone, calling that person, trying to sneak out and see that person because your focus is so deeply rooted into saying, don't, don't, don't. That's all they're hearing is don't. So the more you say don't, the more curious that child becomes. Same with the young adult. Same with our grown adults. The more we show them, the more we give them, the more curiosity is aroused. It is. The more curiosity is aroused. So if we don't give that energy into the mistakes and into the things that they wanted you to, then you win. Because just like R. Kelly, he was panicking and having anxiety. Those anxiety attacks would happen with you. I don't know if you all knew that that's what he was experiencing yesterday. I bet you if we could call him on the phone, we could ask him, was your hands sweaty? Was your chest pumping? Were you getting short of breath? Did you feel faint or dizzy? He'll answer yes to probably 4 to 5 questions I just asked. It's going to tear him down. Just like sometimes letting go of your children tears us down. Well, I will never forget when my first kid went off to college. I cried like I don't know, like I just gave my child up for adoption. I cried, I cried, I cried. By the time the second and third child and the fourth child went to school, it was like, okay, see you later. Let's get back on the road before it don't take too long. But everything with the first is a little different. Seconds, you kind of you got the motion of it. Anything after that, the child may be hanging on the tree, you changing the diaper, you pulling them down. Look, you know how to juggle it. But when they're adults, you can't juggle an adult because they have free will. They're grown. They're going to do what they want to do. You are no longer in control or in command. No longer in command. And that's when the acting out sometimes happen even more. You laughing, yeah, it happens even more. I'm just saying because we go back and forth over things that we don't have to do. Um, they even talk about. I'm reading in one of the Hoffman posts. They even talk about the spouse, the mate. They become worthy of the same concerns that we give our adult child, and that's true. The spouse may become, a little more concerned too because now we want a lot of me time. But I'm not going to get too caught up in the spousal part of it because I want to keep talking about us letting go. And when we let go, do you know we gain our liberty? I don't think you know that. We become free. We are free. We are free, free, free. It's almost like that commercial free, 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 free. Yes, our liberty pops in. We have to, we find new ways to unleash our parenting ways, those corporal structural ways. We get to sleep late sometime maybe, or we don't have to run and do these certain things. We don't have to tell the grown adult about their plates, their cups, their spoons, their nothing, their bed, nothing, because sometimes having that grown adult is still like having that 15-year-old at home. Because guess what? There's a certain way every adult like their house to be ran. And we used to say, my mom them used to say, um, two adults can't be in this house. Hey, it's only one woman in this house. Like if I would try to, raise up or rouse up, my mama would say, hey, it's only one woman in this house. My father used to say, hey, it's only one man in this house. So that meant they were that. And anything else line up and fall accordingly. And that's what they have to do. Get their home, align it up so everything else can fall in place. Everything else. We just need to know that we can live again after we have these children. If you're young enough, you can do a lot of traveling. You can do a lot of exciting things that you kind of put aside because you had college funds, you had mortgage, you had tuition, you had a whole lot of things going on. Of course, in all your other life bills, the regular life bills that everyone else has. So that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in. And so by doing that, you're allowing yourself now to line yourself up for your next path and your next journey of being a parent of adult children. What does that picture look like for you? Ask yourself, what does it look like for me to have adult children out of my house? Or even envision your younger kids as adults. How would you model even better behavior before they go out into this world? It started at the young age. The way we had them pushing the chairs up, the young man holding the doors open, the young lady sitting with their legs, ankles crossed. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please. Thank you. All of those kind things that we taught them as kids, it come into play as an adult. That's how they learn to, as we used to say, spit game. That's how they learn to charm you, because kids are one of the most charming individuals we can ever see, right? So we grow up with that, and that gives us our charisma. But how would they know if we suffocating them? We're suffocating them. We have them locked in our house, being in our food, not paying rent, not being productive, still on the couch, playing games, watching Netflix or Hulu. I don't know. But when I go out the house, the other grown ups need to go out the house unless it's their off day. But you would not lay up in my house all day and not be a productive individual at all. At all. And that's another way of taking your claws out of your child. Allowing them, no, informing them that they would not be staying on you for free. That's the best way to grow your child up in the world. Is start telling them to pay bills. They're going to start looking for a place on their own. But once you do that, ask them. I bet you. Set a price for them. Watch how fast they'd rather pay somebody else rent than you. But guess what? Now you have your liberty. And that room can turn out to be your office, or your prayer room, or your peace room, or your reading room, whatever room you want it to be. You now have a spare room to do what you want to. I break down every room in my house when a child leaves. When they go off for college, I take down the bed, I move stuff around, I start moving my things in there. And it's to say, you're independent now. So they just say, dang, I don't have nowhere to come home to. I say, yeah, we'll pop your bed up just for the vacation, but it snatches back down afterwards. And I mean, they be wood frame beds. My husband's a cop, so he wouldn't take long to put them together. But the point was, don't think this is where you're coming to. It's almost like saying when somebody want a parole and they got to call the house beforehand and all this stuff to see if it's okay. That's what has to happen when you're with your adult kids. Is it okay? You have to call me and see certain things I may not like that you like. So when when you are an adult and when your child is an adult and you are their parent, you have to step back. I can't say step back long enough. Hashtag step back all day. Every time you want to interfere in someone else's business, especially your children, hashtag step back. Put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram, put it wherever you need to put it. But that's what we need to do. Step back. Step back. Breathe. Breathe. And learn to appreciate the independence of being a empty nester. Learn that, and you'll be just fine. And again, don't put too much on this child or this young adult that they cannot keep up with because it was your dream. Allow them to have their own. Allow them to be who they need to be, to find their destiny and their path, their purpose. And when they do, self-efficacy kicks in. They appreciate everything about them. They feel fulfilled. And that's all any human being want to feel at the day. Fulfilled and loved. Appreciated. Appreciated. So we're getting ready to come to a close. I do want to tell you guys about a pop-up shop that is going to be April 13th from 2 o'clock to 6 p.m. at 650 West Root Street in Chicago, Illinois. This pop-up shop would have vendors that ranges from bath salts to the little wooden boards that go across your tub to let your iPad or phone sit in it. We have jewelry vendors, makeup artists, clothing vendors, you name it, they're there. Private label lines. Who else? A mixologist will be there with her specialty drinks. So we just have quite a few, a masseuse. So we have quite a few things that's going on. And this is to introduce us to our community, to our tax dollars. Our dollars are going back into our community that would hopefully build our school system, our streets, our things the way that they need to be. So remember, come out on April 13th at 650 West Root Street from between the hours of 2 to 6 p.m. to get your pop-up shop on. Yes, get your pop-up shopping on, darlings. So I want to tell you guys, I thank you guys so much for joining me. I thank you for always being a loyal fan of Chewing the Fat. And guess what? I'm going to tell you, as I always do, live life on purpose, live life with purpose. For without purpose, what is your intent? What is it? Mwah.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now. I'm starving.